Over 30 million people died, and believe it or not, one of the reasons traces back to a tiny bird. In 1958, the Chinese government ordered millions of citizens to hunt and kill sparrows. Officials believed these birds were stealing valuable grain and causing food shortages. The mission was simple: eliminate the sparrows and save the harvest. But what happened next shocked the entire nation. Instead of increasing food production, the country was pushed toward one of the deadliest famines in human history. How could the death of a small bird contribute to the deaths of millions of people? This is the unbelievable true story of China's war against sparrows. Part 1. The day China went to war against sparrows. Imagine waking up one morning and hearing that your government has declared war on birds. It sounds unbelievable, but that's exactly what happened in China during the late 1950s. What began as a campaign to increase food production eventually became one of the greatest environmental mistakes in modern history. The story starts in 1958. China was undergoing massive economic and agricultural reforms under the leadership of Mao Zedong. The government wanted to rapidly increase food production and transform the country into a powerful industrial nation. To achieve this goal, officials searched for anything they believed was reducing crop yields. Soon, they identified 4 enemies. These were rats, flies, mosquitoes, and sparrows. Together, they became known as the Four Pests. Among them, sparrows attracted particular attention. Government experts estimated that each sparrow consumed a significant amount of grain every year. When multiplied by millions of birds, officials concluded that sparrows were stealing enough food to feed countless people. The solution seemed obvious: eliminate the sparrows. The government launched a nationwide campaign unlike anything the world had ever seen. Every citizen was encouraged to participate. School children left classrooms to hunt birds. Farmers searched fields for nests. Workers paused their jobs to join anti-sparrow campaigns. Posters appeared everywhere, encouraging citizens to help destroy the birds. One of the most effective methods was surprisingly simple. People gathered in streets, villages, and farms carrying pots, pans, drums, and metal objects. They made continuous noise for hours. The constant sound prevented sparrows from landing anywhere to rest. Unable to perch on trees, rooftops, or power lines, the exhausted birds remained airborne until they could no longer continue. Thousands fell from the sky. Others were shot, trapped, or killed after their nests were destroyed. Eggs were smashed. Baby birds were removed from nests. Within months, millions upon millions of sparrows had disappeared. The campaign was celebrated as a huge success. State newspapers praised the effort. Officials reported victories. Citizens were encouraged to believe that they had protected China's harvests. For a brief period, many people felt proud. After all, fewer birds meant fewer mouths eating grain. At least, that's what everyone believed. But nature rarely works in such simple ways. What the government failed to understand was that sparrows did much more than eat seeds. In fact, grain made up only part of their diet. Sparrows also consumed enormous numbers of insects every single day. Caterpillars, beetles, grasshoppers, and many other agricultural pests were regularly eaten by these small birds. Without realizing it, China had removed one of nature's most important pest control systems. The effects were not immediately visible. For a short time, everything seemed normal. Then the insects began to multiply. At first, farmers noticed small increases in pest populations. Soon, those increases became swarms. Fields that once contained manageable numbers of insects became overwhelmed. Crop-eating caterpillars appeared in huge numbers. Locust populations expanded rapidly. Other destructive pests spread across farmland. The natural balance that had existed for generations was suddenly gone. And nobody was prepared for what would happen next. The very birds that had been blamed for damaging crops had actually been protecting them. By removing millions of sparrows, China had unintentionally opened the door to an ecological disaster. What followed would contribute to one of the darkest chapters in the country's history. And the consequences would be measured not only in damaged crops, but in millions of human lives. Part 2. The ecological disaster that cost millions of lives. As sparrow populations collapsed, insect populations exploded. The results were devastating. Fields that should have produced food for millions were now under attack from enormous swarms of crop-destroying pests. Caterpillars stripped plants bare. Locusts devoured entire sections of farmland. Insects multiplied faster than farmers could control them. Ironically, the damage caused by these pests was far greater than the amount of grain sparrows had ever consumed. Instead of protecting harvests, the campaign had weakened them. Food production began to fall. Harvests became smaller. Supplies became limited. At the same time, China was facing other agricultural and economic challenges. Poor farming policies, unrealistic production targets, and environmental problems were already putting pressure on the food system. The disappearance of sparrows made an already difficult situation even worse. By 1959, food shortages were becoming increasingly severe. Across many regions of China, people struggled to find enough food. Families that had once lived comfortably suddenly faced hunger. Communities began experiencing shortages that grew more serious with each passing month. The crisis eventually developed into what historians now call the Great Chinese Famine. Between 1959 and 1961, tens of millions of people are believed to have died from famine-related causes. It remains one of the deadliest famines in human history. While historians agree that multiple factors contributed to the disaster, many researchers consider the destruction of sparrow populations to be one of the significant ecological mistakes that worsened the crisis. Eventually, Chinese authorities realized something was terribly wrong. The expected agricultural miracle had never arrived. Instead, pest populations had surged beyond control. The government finally acknowledged its mistake. The anti-sparrow campaign was abandoned. Sparrows were removed from the list of pests. Efforts were even made to restore bird populations and re-establish ecological balance. But nature had already delivered a painful lesson. The damage could not be undone overnight. This remarkable story demonstrates something many people still overlook today. Every species plays a role in an ecosystem. Even the smallest and most ordinary-looking creature may perform functions that are essential for the survival of countless others. When humans focus only on immediate benefits, they sometimes fail to see the larger picture. The sparrow appeared to be a problem. In reality, it was part of the solution. Today, the world faces many environmental challenges. Forests are disappearing. Wildlife populations are declining. Natural habitats are being destroyed. Often, these changes occur because humans assume they fully understand nature. But the story of China's war on sparrows reminds us that ecosystems are incredibly complex. Every animal, insect, bird, and plant is connected through an invisible network of relationships. Remove one piece, and the effects can spread throughout the entire system. A tiny bird may seem insignificant, yet its absence can affect crops, food supplies, economies, and even human survival. The lesson is simple. Nature is not our enemy. It is a delicate system that supports all life on Earth. And when we attempt to dominate that system without understanding it, we risk creating consequences far greater than the problem we hoped to solve. The war against sparrows ended decades ago, but its message remains as relevant today as ever. Sometimes the smallest creatures protect us in ways we never notice, and sometimes history's greatest disasters begin with what appears to be the simplest decision. The story of China's war against sparrows is more than just a historical event. It is a warning about what can happen when humans try to control nature without fully understanding it. The sparrow was small, ordinary, and easy to overlook. Yet its disappearance helped trigger a chain of events that affected millions of lives. Today, as species continue to disappear around the world, this story reminds us that every living creature has a purpose. Nature survives through balance, and when that balance is broken, the consequences can be far greater than we ever imagine. What do you think? Could a similar environmental disaster happen again in today's world? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more fascinating stories saved from history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.